private school in Tennessee becomes the most recent to suffer a mass shooting.
While in North Carolina, the governor vetoes a bill that would make obtaining a handgun easier. I'm Andrew Thrift.
And I'm Madison Schwinneker. Those stories, plus local tribes fight back against charter school hair restrictions.
This is Carolina News Today.
A school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee on Monday has left 7 people dead. It happened at a Presbyterian elementary school called Covenant. Police say these victims are 3 students and 3 adults. The other fatality is the shooter, who has been identified as a 28-year-old Nashville transgender woman named Audrey Hale, who attended the school as a child. She was armed with 2 assault rifles and a handgun. Police shot her to death on the school's 2nd floor. The incident is the 19th shooting at a school or university so far this year, in which at least 1 person was wounded, according to a tally by CNN.
A second suspect wanted in the murder of a Fairmont man has been arrested and is being held without bond in the Robeson County Detention Center. According to Sheriff Bernice Wilkins, Ashley Hayes of Lakeview, South Carolina was arrested when she went to work on Thursday. Her co-defendant, Jesse Aceves, was arrested Wednesday after a standoff in which he allegedly shot at Robeson County deputies. According to Sheriff Wilkins, Aceves is a 4-time convicted felon who is being held without bond in Dillon County Detention Center. The couple is suspected of a fatal drive-by shooting into the home of a 67-year-old Larry Adams while there was a 9-year-old child in their car.
Governor Roy Cooper has vetoed a bill that aims to eliminate the need for a permit from a local sheriff's office for anyone trying to acquire a handgun. Current state law gives sheriffs the authority to refuse a permit based on signs of mental illness or domestic abuse incidents that might not be reflected in a national background database. The bill would also allow guns on some school properties. Cooper said in a press release that the law would increase chances of child finding firearms at a time when gun offenses among North Carolina children is increasing.
A North Carolina mom has filed a grievance against a charter school after it told her son to cut his long hair. She says their long hair is part of the family's Native American culture. Now the ACLU is involved, calling the school's request discriminatory. Zach Salone has the story.
Logan Lomboy is a first grader at classical charter schools of Leland. His mother Ashley says his long hair is a family tradition.
We are Wakamas from the Wakama-Siouan tribe. It's a part of our culture to have long hair. We understood starting the school that, we had to keep the hair off the ears and off the collar, in which we've been doing that with a bun. But they said that the bun is now considered a fad.
However, school administrators told Lomboy her son's hair must be cut to be in line with the school's policy by March 29th. Her original request for the Board of Trustees to reconsider was denied, but then she was told they would hold a meeting about her family's situation. No word on when that meeting will be, but Lomboy says it shouldn't have been an issue to begin with.
In a time where as Wakama-Siouan people and natives across the state, we have been working to revitalize our culture. Long hair is a part of that, and it's a part of resiliency for our people. And Logan feels confident in his hair. Every time I braid his hair, he's like, "Mommy, I love my braids."
The ACLU of North Carolina has also sent a letter to the school warning that the current policy discriminates against Lomboy and other Native American students.
The problem here, at least in our understanding, is not necessarily that there is any student code of conduct. It's that the way this code of conduct is being interpreted and applied makes this student's access to a public school contingent on his willingness to violate his own religious beliefs.
As the Lomboy family wonders what will happen next.
If the school declines what we have requested in the grievance and doesn't issue that back and allow him to be able to keep his hair long, we will be having to move schools. We would not sacrifice our culture to attend the school.
A 6-year-old Lumbee student who attends classical charter schools of Whiteville was also given the same deadline to cut his hair. Both of these schools are owned by the Roger Bacon Academy. Classical charter schools released a response, stating their policy had been relaxed to accommodate parents during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, school officials are returning to prior expectations. They say that parents can submit a grievance and students can keep their hairstyles until the board rules on it in their next meeting.
State officials have signed an agreement with Weyerhaeuser, one of the world's largest private owners of timberlands, to protect more than 1,600 acres of environmentally rich land in eastern North Carolina. These properties will be added to the state's registry of National Heritage Areas. Weyerhaeuser agreed to voluntarily set aside 8 tracts of land in the coastal plains for conservation of rare species and high-quality natural communities. The 8 sites include some located in Pender and Brunswick counties, such as tidal swamps and bottomland hardwood forests.
After violent storms killed 26 people and injured dozens in the South, communities that were severely impacted or destroyed are beginning the long cleanup process. Ivan Rodriguez reports on work to rebuild from the ground up.
Say, like a lazy Susie of a smoker.
Even though Joshua Haynes can't do much to physically build back the city of Rolling Fork, Mississippi, it didn't stop him from wanting to help a community in pain, one meal at a time.
I told my wife yesterday, hey, we ought to just go cook for him.
Haynes and his friends weren't the only ones wanting to help. It's the kind of gesture those who lost everything could appreciate.
And I can't find anything at all.
For Erwin Macon,
Really can't recognize most of this stuff.
everything he had was taken in an instant when the tornado that tore through this trailer park also claimed his home.
A lot of people are in a whole lot worse shape than I am. You know, losing everything, one thing, but being injured, some loss of life.
A new satellite image showing the deep scar through the town left by the tornado, a stunning sight for those in the community.
There's nothing here. There's nothing here but a lot of wood, bricks, and rubbish. There's nothing here.
And even though all Macon could salvage from his property was a suitcase and a pair of sneakers, he also isn't giving up.
To come through this here, there is God.
A fundraising event brought the city of Laurinburg together. Habitat for Humanity of Scotland County hosted Run with the Knights, a 24-hour ultra-marathon at St. Andrews University. The event had more than 130 runners from all across the country, as well as someone from Botswana, Africa. Racers covered a large loop around campus numerous times, and there were greeted with entertainment, food, prizes, and more. The Habitat Chapter's Executive Director, Chris Carpenter, said this type of fundraiser was special.
The unique thing about this event is most ultramarathons do not have anything extra besides just the marathon part. We were able to utilize the campus to create an entire community event by providing a free concert with the sand band, and we also had food trucks that were available to everyone on campus, any of the community that came out. So it was a very unique event.
Habitat for Humanity focuses on building communities, and their mission statement shines through community events like these. They're planning to host a similar event next year.
The North Carolina Film Office says TV and movie projects in the state are off to a strong start this year and are expected to generate about $99 million of in-state spending. The 5 latest productions include A Biltmore Christmas for the Hallmark Channel and a movie sequel to Nickelodeon's Zoe 101 TV series shot in Wilmington. A Western-style crime drama set in the Blue Ridge Mountains has started filming in the greater Charlotte area. The North Carolina Film and Entertainment Grant provides financial assistance that is paid out after a project meets spending and hiring requirements.
Could TikTok soon be banned in the U.S.?
Meanwhile, Ticketmaster is facing Taylor Swift fans in court.
But first, check out these amazing facts about UNCP. at one daycare center in a Chicago suburb were told by staff that a gun went off inside the center while children were present. Officials say that the gun was brought by a 9-year-old student coming for after-school care. Leah Hope reports from South Holland.
A South Holland daycare center is closed today. The center's owner and director tell ABC7 the staff is shaken by an incident yesterday afternoon. They say a 9-year-old student coming for after-school care set down his backpack and a gun inside the backpack went off. Fortunately, no one was hurt. We are told a staffer quickly moved the backpack away from the children and kept them safe and calm. A spokesperson for the village of South Holland tells us an investigation is underway related to an apparent unintentional discharge of a weapon at a facility located at 831 East 162nd Street, South Holland. Due to the involvement of a juvenile, further details cannot be released at this time. We have been able to confirm the child attended Greenwood Elementary School and had been picked up by the Happy Days daycare staff from the school. Today, administrators for the school shared information with parents saying, "We are aware of an incident that occurred at a local daycare involving a District 150 student. This matter is currently being investigated by the South Holland Police. Please know the safety of our students and staff is top priority in District 150. This parent of a Greenwood student who preferred to not use her name says she got a message from the school, but tells us she only learned a weapon was involved after talking with her child.
Just really shocked that they didn't let us know that it involved a weapon, because that's really scary.
The daycare is expected to reopen Monday. The center directors declined requests for an interview, but say their prayers are with the child involved and his family.
A Michigan State University shooting survivor spoke publicly at the state capitol Thursday, sharing his story and calling for change. It's been just over 1 month since the mass shooting on the university's campus in East Lansing. 3 students were killed and 5 others were hospitalized. Troy Forbush was one of the many speakers, calling for gun safety laws in Michigan. He describes his terrifying ordeal.
A handgun being fired at me and my peers through the doorway entrance in the back of our classroom. I fell to the ground from my seat and tried to act as if I were already dead. As he panned the room with his handgun, I pled for my life and screamed, "Please don't shoot me." We were met face to face with pure evil. Seconds after being shot clean through the lung, 2 entrance wounds and 2 exit wounds, laying in a state of shock that will never leave my mind and forever haunt me.
It will be a few weeks before any gun safety measures reach the governor's desk. The Michigan legislature is currently on spring break, and the House and Senate will need to sort out some differences. The Michigan House did pass a safe storage proposal Wednesday as part of a larger package of gun safety bills.
President Biden's student loan forgiveness program may face a new threat before the U.S. Supreme Court rules on whether it can be carried out. 3 Republican senators are planning to introduce a resolution to overturn Biden's debt relief program. They are Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Joni Ernst of Iowa, and John Cornyn of Texas. Biden would most likely veto the measure if it succeeds in both chambers of Congress. But forcing a vote would expose members of his own party who have yet to take a public stance on the program. It promises up to $20,000 of debt relief for eligible borrowers. It's currently blocked by a lawsuit. The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to issue its ruling on the program in late June or early July.
China says it will, quote, firmly oppose any forced sale of the popular social media app TikTok. President Biden's administration is calling on the app's Chinese owners to sell their share of the company or face a potential U.S. ban. The drama unfolds as the company CEO testified on Capitol Hill about its ability to keep user data safe. Is the app a major security risk? CNN's Ivan Rodriguez breaks down the concerns.
Many U.S. lawmakers remain convinced the popular app is an urgent threat to national security.
The FBI director, the CIA director, the NSA director, the DIA director, the director of national intelligence, all voicing significant concerns about this app in bipartisan fashion.
TikTok does appear to collect user data in a similar fashion to American social media companies. While TikTok does not operate in China, its parent company ByteDance is located in Beijing. The concern is the Chinese government could leverage that relationship to force cooperation with security activities, including the possible transfer of TikTok user data. Experts say while there's no public evidence at this moment, it is a possibility.
The problem for the CEO is it's not TikTok that's the target of mistrust, it's China. Nobody trusts China, and nothing he can say will change that.
Western legal experts say Chinese law can require any organization or citizen in China to support, assist, or cooperate with state intelligence work. Concerns about TikTok's connection to China have led to a ban across U.S. government devices. In Thursday's testimony, TikTok CEO Shou Chew tried to ease worries.
I have seen no evidence that the Chinese government has access to that data. They have never asked us. We have not provided.
Lawmakers weighing what to do next.
It's more about the ownership structure, and that needs to change.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
TikTok's CEO says the company's plan to keep user data safe from unauthorized access is called Project Texas. It would give the U.S. government and third-party companies a degree of oversight over TikTok's data practices.
Twitter says part of its source code was posted online and exposed until Friday. That's when Twitter had the material removed from the web. Source code is the proprietary programming that runs Twitter and its internal tools. Experts of the code were posted to the online software repository GitHub. The code appears to be the only material posted on that account. It was posted by a user identified only by the handle Free Speech Enthusiast. The social media giant is seeking a court order to hunt down the source of the leak. CEO Elon Musk has sought to reverse a sharp decline in revenue through substantial layoffs and other cost-cutting measures. Some experts had already said those measures risked making the platform less safe.
Taylor Swift fans have been demonstrating in Los Angeles, where about 300 Swifties took Ticketmaster to court Monday. Their lawsuit alleges the company engaged in fraud, price fixing, and antitrust violations. That's after many fans couldn't get Eras tour tickets without paying scalpers inflated prices. The plaintiffs argue Ticketmaster has a monopoly that allows it to charge high fees and take advantage of fans. It owns 70% of the market after merging with Live Nation in 2010, and some fans want regulators to undo that combination.
It's not fair what we had to go through to get our tickets. I still haven't been able to get tickets. I'm 25 years old. I've loved Taylor for 15 years, and I saved up for months and months for the Eras tour. We knew it was going to happen. I had $500 saved, and that should have been enough to buy me floor seats for what Taylor wanted to sell her tickets for. But unfortunately, Live Nation stopped that, and so it's wrong. We need to end the merger.
Ticketmaster says it's sorry for what happened with the Swift concert tickets. It's pledging to improve future sales, and so is the artist herself. Swift says she's protective of her fans and that it's, quote, excruciating to watch the struggle to get tickets for her tour. Some members of Congress appear to be keeping an eye on the Swifties' plight, too, even calling in the Live Nation president for a hearing.
Get ready to look up to the sky. A planetary parade is coming. The alignment of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus will become visible Friday and continue that way over the next couple of weeks. Onlookers should be able to catch the best glimpse of the five-planet alignment this evening just after sunset. It will be visible underneath the crescent moon across the northern and southern hemispheres. Alignments like this one appear every few years or so. An expert says much of it will be visible to the naked eye, even in urban areas with significant light pollution.
A 46-year-old UNCP athletic record was broken over the weekend.
And the March Madness basketball tournament is down to its Final Four stage.
Mihaela Traish is here with this week's sports news.
Hey everyone, I'm Mihaela Traish. I'll tell you what's been going on in CNT sports. Braves softball, who initially had a heavy workload over the weekend, saw their obligations cut in half when their road trip to Emmanuel College in Georgia was postponed to a later date. The team still got the chance to lace up for a doubleheader against Erskine College in South Carolina. Unfortunately, the Braves fell in both matchups. Game 1 saw the Fleet keep the Braves to just 1 run. The Braves were able to run the bases better in Game 2, but came away with the defeat 6-14. They'll have a chance to regroup and step up to the plate this weekend when they host North Greenville and Converse on Friday and Saturday. The baseball team was also on the road over the weekend and went head-on against #1 seed North Greenville University. The 3-game series saw the Braves struggle to put points on the board. They left Tigerville, South Carolina with only 4 points for the whole weekend against North Greenville's 20. Baseball has a chance to get back in the win column when they hit the road to visit Coker tomorrow. You can catch the Braves at home this weekend against Erskine College on Friday and Saturday. The outdoor track and field squads had 2 events going on at the same time since our last episode. They competed in the Adidas Trojan Challenge in Mount Olive and the Raleigh Relays. Damar Harvey and Jayla Thomas both grabbed first-place finishes in Mount Olive. With Jayla Thomas besting the field in the women's 100-meter dash, Damar Harvey took home the top prize in the men's 400-meter dash. Ben Oxendine took 3rd in javelin. The big news out of the Raleigh Relays was Delson Burkhart breaking the school record in the 800-meter run. Burkhart had a personal best time of 1:50.12. That beats a 46-year-old record held by Pembroke Hall of Famer Jeff Moody by 0.18 seconds. That's an NCAA provisional qualifying mark for the 800-meter run, and it's the second fastest time in Division II this season that we know of. Congrats to Delson. The men and women's March Madness basketball tournaments are down to their final 4 teams. So CNT reporter Nicole Cook asked folks on campus their picks for who's going to take home the national championship titles. Here's what they had to say.
Man, that's a toss-up. I don't know. I think UConn's playing awful well, but my heart's with Miami, so I'm going to go with Miami.
My heart tells me I'd love to see FAU or San Diego State because they're the underdogs, but my brain tells me it's UConn.
So since Duke is no longer in the tournament, unfortunately, I am originally from San Diego, so I'm going to have to go with San Diego State. Go Aztecs.
My pick is the Miami.
Florida Atlantic.
I'm picking UConn to win it all.
I got LSU.
I'm going Iowa for the women's.
South Carolina. You can't. I think that's nobody's going to beat them.
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
As fans get ready for the tournament, it turns out some men are planning to watch while they recover from surgery. No joke, but the number of vasectomies spiked during March Madness. Some doctors even use the tournament as a marketing pitch. What better excuse to lay around and watch TV all day? Here's CNN's Mandy Gaither.
The madness has begun. With the Sweet 16 upon us, some men are ready to post up on the couch.
We see sometimes an upwards of a 30% increase in men that are calling our office, or sometimes their partners are calling our office with an interest in getting a vasectomy.
Urologist Dr. Jamin Brombot with Orlando Health says a vasectomy is a simple office-based procedure that takes about 20 minutes and is done using local anesthesia. He says patients don't feel much during the procedure. It's a form of birth control for men, which cuts the supply of sperm to semen.
A lot of men feel that, oh man, I'm going to lose my intimacy. It's going to feel different and my testosterone is going to go down. Research has proven that's really not the case.
After surgery, Brombot says patients are asked to rest for 2 days and spend a week not exerting themselves or working out. Just like with any procedure, there are risks.
Bleeding or swelling in the scrotum after the procedure. There's always a chance of infection, and that's why we may give you antibiotics before and after the procedure.
Brombot says about 1% of men may also have post-vasectomy pain after the procedure, but he says serious complications are rare.
If you have an excuse to watch basketball for the rest of the week because you got one, hey man, you're winning in 2 directions.
Well, that's something to think about. And think about this. International soccer legend Lionel Messi has made history yet again with his 800th career goal. Messi becomes just the 2nd player ever to reach the 800-goal milestone after Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo. Messi is an Argentinian who most recently hoisted the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. He made his professional debut at 17 years old for FC Barcelona's youth team. He is also the only player ever to score at every stage of FIFA's World Cup tournament. That's all for me, Brave Nation. I'm Mahala Trace. You can check out Brave Softball online this afternoon. They've got a doubleheader in Wilson, North Carolina against Barton College. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Mahala. It's looking to be a good week weather-wise. Sunny with spring temperatures, but a little rain in Pembroke on Saturday. I'm Madison Schwinnaker.
And I'm Andrew Thrift. We'll see you next week, and we hope you'll subscribe.